See, in almost all the languages, if you encounter this symbol, this is called as what? This is called as function or method. This symbol is encountered, then that is called as what? Function or method. See, you all people have to agree that this is a function because the symbol is there. This is a function because the symbol is there. So print is a function. In the print function, in the single quote, in the print function, in the double quote, in the print function, in the triple quote, whatever you do right, that will be printed as it is onto the monitor. So if I want to print hello onto the monitor, what I will do? I will use the print function single quote or double quote or triple quote. Okay, so let me execute this code. So I am in which file? I am in 1.py file. I am in 1.py file. So how can I execute this code? You can see in the video, in the installation video, I have told very clearly, don't worry, once to see that. So if I want to see the output of this code, what I have to do? I have to right click and I have to click on run one. Run one. See, this is 1.py, right? So this is what? Run one. Here, Control Shift F10 you can use. Control Shift F10 is the shortcut. So see, hello got printed as it is onto the monitor. So I am telling that if you want to print something onto the monitor in Python, you have to use print function that you have to put in the single quote or in the double quote or in the triple quote. Single, double or triple. So that is the point. And now we are going to see what is the meaning of variable or variables. Let us say I want to add 2 and 3. I want to add 2 and 3. See, if I want to add, subtract, divide, multiply, whatever. If I want to perform the operations on these numbers, it is better to put these values into the computer's memory. If I put these values into the computer's memory, if you put these values into the computer's memory, then I can easily perform the operations. So what I will do, see, I am telling that the entire computer's memory, has been divided into different number of cells. See how the computer's memory will look like. The entire has been divided into different number of cells. So see, this is one cell, this is one cell. Like that, the total computer's memory got divided into different number of cells. How can I put 2 in this cell? How can I put 3 in this cell? It is very simple. I am writing A equal to 2 and I am writing B equal to 3. See, whenever the instruction A equal to 2 is encountered, what will happen? One free cell will be chosen. One free cell will be chosen. Name A will be taken for that and 2 will be stored in that. Okay. Whenever the instruction B equal to 3 is encountered, one more free cell will be chosen. Name B will be taken for that and 3 will be stored in that. Let us say I want to store the age of a user into the computer's memory. I want to store the age of the user into the computer's memory. I will be writing age equal to 23. Whenever the instruction age equal to 23 is encountered, one free cell will be chosen, name age will be taken for that and 23 will be stored in that. Okay. In this context, you can call A, B, age as variables. In this context, you can call A, B, age as variables. So how can you define a variable? What is a variable means what should be your answer? Name of a memory cell. A is the name of the cell. B is the name of the cell. Age is the name of the cell. Yes or no? So variable means what? Name of a memory cell. You are going to get this document after the class, don't worry. So I will be sending the complete document along with the recorded session. Okay, I will be having the master copy of the video, like I will be sending that to you. So what is a variable? Name of the memory cell is called as a variable, and it is used to store a value. What is the purpose of a variable? Purpose of a variable is to store a value. Purpose of variable is to store a value. Okay. Now I am expecting the answer from you people. I have given age equal to 23. So print age. See, whenever the instruction, whenever the instruction age equal to 23 is encountered, what will happen? Whenever the instruction age equal to 23 is encountered, what will happen? One free cell will be chosen. One free cell will be chosen. Name age will be taken for that cell, and 23 will be stored in that. 23 will be stored in that. Okay. Now, can anybody answer what is the output of this code? You have to unmute and answer. Immediately you mute yourself.
It's
So
age. Age.
age. Very good. Because whatever I do put in the double quote, that will be printed as it is onto the monitor now. So if as I have kept age in the double quote, it will be printed as it is onto the monitor. But I don't want age to be printed. I want 23 to be printed. So what I will do? Print age. Print age. So if I put something in the double quote, it will be printed as it is onto the monitor. But I am putting this variable outside the code. If I put something outside the code, its memory value will be taken and printed. Now what is the output if this instruction is executed?
23.
23. Correct. So if I put something inside the code, it will be printed as it is onto the monitor. Outside the code means what? Its memory value will be taken and printed. As of now, remember like that. Later on, we will in the data types we will discuss more on this. Fine. But see, I am having a requirement like this. I am having a requirement like this. See, age equal to 23. What is the expected output? The expected output is the age is 23. See, in such a descriptive manner, I want to display the result. The age is not simply 23. The age is 23. In such a descriptive manner, I want to print the result. So, what I will do? I will use print function to print something onto the monitor. See, up to here, it has to be printed as it is, right? So, I will be putting that in the double quote, because whatever I put in the double quote, that will be printed as it is onto the monitor. And 23 is there in which variable? Age variable. So if I execute this line, what is the output? Can anybody tell me?
The
The age is age.
Age is age.
The age is age. Exactly. Because whatever you are having in the double quote, that is going to be printed as it is onto the monitor. So that's why what you have to do, you have to put age outside the quote. You have to put age outside the quote. So actually this is inside the code. So this will be printed as it is onto the monitor. Age is outside the code. So its memory value has to be taken and printed. So the output should be the age is 23. But let us see what will happen if I write this. Any error or you are getting the output, or let us see what is going to happen. See, it is clearly indicating the error with a red marker. So what you have to do, you have to put a comma. I will tell you what is that. Once you execute, so what is going to happen here? See, the age is 23. The expected result we are getting. This is inside the code, so it came as it is. And this is outside the code, its memory value has been taken. But what is the story of this comma? Why should we put a comma? Let us see. See, comma is called as what? Comma means concatenation. Concatenation symbol. Concatenation symbol. Concatenating means what? Combining. Combining. See, you are combining two things in one line. See, the thing to be printed as it is should be combined with the memory value. Yes or no? The thing to be printed as it is should be concatenated with the memory value. So you are combining two things in one line. Huh? That's why I have to put the concatenation symbol. The thing to be printed as it is should be concatenated with the value inside the variable. That is 23. So I will be putting the concatenation symbol. There is other technical reason. To concatenate string and integer in Python, we will put comma. That I will tell you later because I didn't talk about the data types yet. So now can anybody answer my question? 10 is the age. Like this, I want to get the result. Can anybody answer what I have to write in the print function? Please unmute and answer. Okay, if you want, I will write it.
Double quotes and 10 is the age simply.
What? Print?
Print the, under the double quotes we'll put 10 is the age.
No.
No.
Print age, comma, in double quotes.
Age, comma,
Yes, that is correct.
Age,
comma,
comma,
Under
Double
double
quotes.
Double
under
quote.
the age.
double quote,
is the age.
Is the age.
Right.
is the age. Very good.
Some
See, 10 has to be taken from the memory. So I will put the variable outside the quote. Is the age should be taken as it is. So I will put is the age inside the quote. So these two has to be combinedly printed in one line. That's why I will be putting the concatenation symbol. Age is the age. That means what? 10 concatenated with is the age. Let us try this line. See, 23 is the age. Anybody don't understand this line? Okay. So now I will be writing one code. You have to tell me the output of that code. I want to put 10 in A, in B, in C, and I want to print A. I want to print B. I want to print C. Can you tell me what is the output of this code?
10 only.
Sorry?
10, 10.
10, 10, 10 will be printed in the same line or in the different lines?
On different lines.
Different lines.
Different line.
Why they are printed in the different lines?
Because you have written three print.
Hmm. Yes, there is no comma. So now can you tell me if I put print A, comma, B, comma, C, then what will happen? These will be printed in the same line or different
Same.
lines?
Same line.
Same line.
Same line.
Yes. 10 will be concatenated with 10 and that 10 will be concatenated with that 10. This is okay. See, Python means with less number of instructions, we can finish the task. That is the actual thing. So my intention is to put 10 in all the three variables. So instead of writing 3 lines, I can do this in 1 line. Instead of doing in 3 lines, I can do the same in 1 line. How can I do that? A equal to B equal to C equal to 10. A equal to B equal to C equal to 10. So, see, now 10 will be into C, into B, into A. If you execute, you are getting the same output. This is called as what you know, assigning single value to multiple variables. Assigning single value to multiple variables. See, assigning single value to multiple variables. So you are assigning 90 to all the three variables. Instead of writing 3 lines, you are just writing in 1 line. Okay, next. But I want different values in different variables. A equal to 10, B equal to 20, C equal to 30. Can anybody answer my question? What is the output of this code?
10, 20,
10,
30.
20,
20,
30.
30.
10, 20, 30 in the same line or in different lines?
Same
Same
line.
line.
Same line. Very good.
Same line.
But see, still I don't want to write 3 lines. Even though variables and values are different, I just want to manage them in 1 line. Definitely I can do that. A comma B comma C equal to 10 comma 20 comma 30. Now it is like respective. 10 will be into A, 20 will be into B, 30 will be into C. If you write ABC, you are going to get the same result. This is called as what? See, assigning multiple values to multiple variables. Assigning multiple values to multiple variables. You can assign single value to multiple variables in one line, and even you can assign multiple values to multiple variables in one line. Now tell me, what will be the output of this program? I will tell you why should I put double quote later in the data types, but just generally understand and tell me the output.
Harika F.
Harika F, yes or no? So Harika will be into the name variable, female will be into the gender variable, Harika and female will be the result. Okay, assigning multiple values to multiple variables. Okay, nextly what I am going to do, I will tell you what is ID function. ID function. See, you will be having your own address, I will be having my own address, and some other person is going to have his own address, right? So what I told, the entire computer's memory got divided into different cells, right? See, remember, each and every cell will have a unique address. The address of this cell is 1001, let us say. The address of this cell is 1002, let us say. The address of this cell is 1003, let us say. Like that, each and every cell will have a unique address. Each and every cell will have a unique address. Now, again, I am asking you a question. If I write A equal to 10, B equal to 20, if I write to print A, and if I write to print B, so 1 minute. So initially what will happen? Initially what will happen? One free cell will be chosen, name A will be taken for that, and 10 will be stored in that. And then one more free cell will be chosen, name B will be taken for that, and 20 will be stored in that. See, every cell will have a unique address. I already told this point. Let us say the address of A is 1001 and the address of B is 1002. Address of B is 1002. Now, please tell me what is the output of this code. If I execute this code, what is the output?
10, 20.
10, 20.
10, 20.
Okay. Okay. Fine. See, now I don't want value inside the variable. I want to get the address of the variable. Address of A is 1001, address of B is 1002, right? I don't want the value inside the variable. I want the address. I want the address of the variable. So how can I do that? See, in order to get the address of a variable, address means what? Identity, right? You're identifying that, right? So identity of a cell. So if you want to get the address of a particular cell, you have to use ID function. ID function. Which cell address or which variable address you want, that you have to put in the ID function. Similarly, ID of B. Now, you will get the address of A, you will get the address of B. If I execute I am asking you a question. Why address is not printed?
We didn't put in the print command.
Very good. See, I told that id function will retrieve the address of the variable. I didn't tell that retrieved address will be printed. I told that id will retrieve the address, and the retrieved address has to be printed using the print function. See, id of a means what? Some address will be retrieved. Na? That retrieved address you have to print using the print function. Here also, see, address of B will be retrieved, and the retrieved address will be printed using the print function. Has to be printed using the print function. Now see,
Madam,
I'll,
excuse me, madam. What is the use of address, ma'am?
I will tell. Please wait. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. So, what is the point here? Actually, I have randomly taken 1001, 1002. But by that time, which cell is occupied, that cell address will be taken. And I am asking you a question. The address of these variables are same or different? Can you please see and tell me? Addresses are same or different? Different, na?
Different.
Different, na? Okay. That means just now what we have discussed, each and every cell will have a unique address. So I will have my address, you will have your own address. So some other person will have his own address. So every cell will have a unique address. So that's why the addresses are different. Now I am putting A equal to 10, B equal to 10. Okay. So now you have to see and answer my question. Addresses are same or addresses are different now? A, B addresses are same or different?
Same.
Same, na? But
Same.
just now I told that addresses are different for different cells. Every cell will have a unique address. What exactly happened? I would like to tell you now clearly. So, okay. So whenever the instruction A equal to 10 is encountered, one free cell will be chosen, name A will be taken for that, and 10 will be stored in that. 10 will be stored in that. Okay, we know that. And let us say the address of A is 1001. This is fine. See, Python is very, very intelligent. Whenever it is encountering B equal to 10, what it will think, you know? See, the programmer's intention is to store 10 into the computer's memory. Already 10 is there in one cell, na? Why should I waste one more cell? What is the intention of the programmer? The programmer intention is to store 10 into the computer's memory. 10 is already there in one cell. That's why it will put B for the same cell. It won't occupy the new cell. It won't waste the memory like that. Now, address of A is 1001. Address of B is also 1001. Address of A also 1001. Address of B is also 1001.
Madam, if B is called suppose 15, then it will be different, no?
Obviously. Value is different, it will occupy the separate cell. Okay. So now you have to answer my question. I am taking A equal to 10 and I am writing ID of C. Can you please tell me all the three addresses will be same or C will have a different address?
Same.
Same cell.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Fine. So I will tell one point. You tell me whether that is correct or not. If the values are same, addresses will also be same. If the values are different, then the addresses will be different. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Values are same cell is occupied, na? Then the address will also be same. Values are different, addresses will also be different. So,
Madam, can I ask a question?
1 minute. Let me finish one point. See, this is called as a list. I didn't tell this. We will see this later. But just to say, I am asking you a question as per the point we have discussed now. So, print address of A print address of B. Okay, now can you please answer? Just give your guess, let it be right or wrong. The addresses of AB will be same or different?
It will be different, madam.
Different.
Different only?
Yes.
But why values are same, addresses are same, values are different, addresses are different, we have discussed. Then values are same, na? Then it should get the same addresses, na?
But it is an error, madam.
Are different addresses?
Same address.
Same address.
But see how it is behaving. So someone asked me the question, what is that? So why to know the ID? What is the purpose of ID? See, we should know, right, whether our data is occupying the same cells or different cells. We have to know, right? The only solution is by using the ID function. See, while we are dealing with the sequence, see, list is called as a sequence. While we are dealing with the sequences, our principle will not be working. Only with the individual entities, our principle will be working. I will tell you the sequences later. List, set, tuple, dictionary. We will discuss the sequences later. So why I told this point? So someone asked, right? Like, what is the purpose of ID? See, I should definitely know. My data is occupying several cells or one cell. I should know, right? That's why I'm using this. For now, you please remember. Because I didn't tell you the sequences, right? Forget about it. Up to now, what I told you, please remember. What is that? ID function is used to get the address of the variable, and if the values are different, addresses will also be different. If the values are same, then the addresses will also be same. Okay, that point you have to remember. Now someone is trying to ask some question. Please ask me now.
Yeah, regarding while dealing with the geosciences, the same value can have at different locations. But then I think partly it has been replied by you. But the question was like the same value, but then located different positions. Should not have the same identity, address. So,
Sorry, I didn't understand your question.
yeah,
Your
like,
voice is...
like 1010, though the numbers, variables are the same, but then may not be located the same location while dealing with the real database. Okay.
See, this is not a database, right? This is normal value. That is, see, database is different and this is different, right? This is after all a variable. Okay. While dealing with the variables, this is the behavior I'm telling. Okay. Fine.
Hello. The audio is, vanning out sometimes. We're unable to hear. It's a poor audio sometimes.
I guess it's a problem from you only. Here, everything is perfect from my side.
No, we are listening.
We are listening with. Okay.
We are listening.
It's fine. Go ahead, man.
It's fine, na? Yeah.
Fine,
Please check your internet again and please try to reconnect. It will be helpful.
I don't know whether it is same to everyone or not.
No, we are listening.
No,
it's fine.
It's
I'm
fine,
not
no.
getting. No.
So they are telling it that it's fine, na? So please check your internet once. Okay. So now
ఒకసారి లాగౌట్ అయ్యి మళ్ళీ రీజాయిన్ అవ్వండి సార్. అశోక్ బాబు గారు
లాగౌట్ చేసా సార్. ఓకే.
ఒకసారి బయటకు వచ్చేసి మళ్ళీ లాగిన్ అవ్వండి.
హలో. ఓకే.
ఒకసారి బయటకు వచ్చేసి. అచ్చా, what Subhash is asking is that what is the limit of storing variables in a cell?
Only one. That point is the next one. Okay, that I'm going to tell.
Madam, here print one command also we can use, no?
Let me explain that point. Okay,
Print
once I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I will explain that. That's the next point. Okay, if you want, I will tell that now. Only, not a problem.
Okay.
So now you please try to give your guess. I am telling A equal to 10, A equal to 20, A equal to 9. Print A. So please give your guess. What will be the output now? 10, 29, or what will be the output?
9.
9 will be the
9. Okay. How it will be? Let me explain. So we all know that whenever the instruction A equal to 10 is encountered, what will happen? As usually, one free cell will be chosen, name A will be taken for that, and 10 will be stored in that. That is okay. whenever the instruction A equal to 20 is encountered, what will happen? Already in A, what is there? 10 is there, na? That will be permanently lost from the memory and it will be overridden by 20. It will be overridden by 20. Whenever the instruction A equal to 9 is encountered, already in A, what is there? 20 is there. That will be permanently lost from the memory and that will be overridden by 9. That will be overridden by 9. So from this what you have to understand, a variable can store only one value at a time. Which value? The latest value or the recently updated value. Whenever A equal to 10 is encountered, okay, A will be having 10, that is fine. Whenever A equal to 20 is encountered, already the existing value will be there, na? That will be lost and it will be overridden by 20. Whenever A equal to 9 is encountered, that value will be lost and it will be replaced by 9. So if you print A, obviously 9 will be there. What is the latest value? That will only be available in the memory. The remaining values will be overridden automatically. So A means 9 only. Okay, that is the point. So one variable can store only one value at a time. See the same point for your reference I have written in the material also. I will be just showing you. Later on you can refer. So whenever I am writing A equal to 100, A equal to 20, A equal to 90, print A, what will happen? 90 will be printed. The latest value will only be available in the variable. Only one value will be there in the variable. Okay, fine. So I know the meaning of this line. I am retrieving the address of A and I am printing the retrieved address. Okay, but see, in future, let us say after 1 year, I may forget the meaning of this line. So for my own remembrance, I will be writing some description regarding this line. So what is the description I'm putting? So let us say how I'm putting. I'm just writing like this. Printing the address of A. So for my own memory, like my own reference, I'm putting this description. But what Python is doing? Python is executing this also. Python is executing this also. Python don't know English, na? That's why it is going to give error for us. See, I should ask Python that, Python, don't execute this. This is none of your business. This is not for you. This is for my sake I have written. Please ignore this at the time of execution. Please ignore this at the time of execution. So, how can I do that? How can I tell Python that it has to ignore that at the time of execution? Just, I will precede that with hash. Whenever I precede this with hash, what will happen? Python will not be treating this at the time of execution. So now let me execute. See, there is no effect of this. So this is called as comment. Comments are not treated at the time of execution. After hash we are writing whatever, that is treated as a comment. Now I am asking you a question. Now if I execute this program, address of A will be printed, address of B will be printed, both the addresses will be printed. What will be the output?
Only the second one.
Second one.
Address of B. Very good. Because see, let it be meaningful thing or let it be unmeaningful thing. Whatever you are putting after hash, that is totally ignored, that's it. So now what will happen? Only the address of B you have to expect. And one more question I'm asking you. See, if I put hash before this line, only this line is commented or all the remaining lines are also getting commented?
The above line.
Only that line, right?
Yeah.
Before which line you are putting hash, only that line is commented. That's why hash is called as single line comment. Single line comment. Before which line you are putting hash, only that line is commented. That's why it is called as single line comment. But let us say I have to comment several lines. I have to comment several lines. See, if I have to comment 100 lines, 100 times I have to put hash. Yes or no? Before each and every line I have to put hash, right? But it is very, very difficult. If I have to put hash for 100 times, it is very, very difficult for me. That means what? I want to comment multiple lines at a time. I want to comment all the 100 lines at a time. In that case, I will be using the multi-line comment. In that case, I'll be using the multi-line comment. Multi-line comments are indicated using triple quote. Multi-line comments are indicated using triple quote. Triple quote. Or there is also one more option. Whatever you want, you use. There is also one more option. You can use double triple quote to indicate the multi-line comment. Double triple quote. So this is triple quote only, but kept for double time. Na? That's why double triple quote or even normal triple quote can be used to comment multiple instructions at a time, and there is no effect of them. There is no effect of them. So in my output, these instructions are not at all going to affect my output. That's what I'm telling. So see, I just want to tell you this again. So what is a comment? Whatever we do write under comment, that is not treated at the time of execution. Python supports two types of comments. First is single line comment. Second is multi-line comment. Single line comment is used to comment one line, and it is indicated by hash. Before which line you want to, before which line you put hash, that line is commented. And if you want to comment multiple lines at a time, then we have to use the multi-line comment. Multi-line comment is indicated in two ways. First is by using the triple quote, and second is by using the double triple quote. First is by using the triple quote, second is by using the double triple quote. So hope everybody understood the comments part. And my sincere request, see, if you don't understand anything, if you want me to repeat anything, without hesitation, please ask me. Okay, any number of times, 100 times also I will tell. So please don't feel like after the class I didn't get this, I didn't get that. Please don't think like that. I'm having a lot of patience. So 100 times also I will tell. If you don't get anything, please ask me to repeat. I will repeat, no problem for me. Okay. Fine. So next thing what we are going to see is general data types. General data types. See, data type means what? Type of data. In Python, basically there are 4 types of data. Integer data, decimal data, collection of characters, true or false. See, integer data means what? Integers. Integer means what? Positive number, negative number, 0. This is called as the integer data. Integer data is represented by, thank you so much. So integer data is represented by int. Integer data is represented by int. Int keyword. It's a predefined word. Keyword means what? Predefined word. It is given by Python. And decimal values, 2.6, 8.8. Decimal values will be there. Na? So decimal values are represented by float data type. Float data type. We have to remember this. There is no option. So int data type, float data type. Collection of characters is called as a string. Collection of characters means what? Your name, my name, Harika is a string, hello is a string. So collection of characters is called as a string. See, please do remember, character means not only the alphabet. Character means alphabet can be there, number can be there, special symbol can be there, whatever. Group of characters. If you don't mind, just give me 1 minute, I'll connect my charger. Okay, so collection of characters. That means what? See, like Pinky is a collection of characters. Hello all @123 is a collection of characters. So group of characters or collection of characters is called as a string, and strings are represented by str data type. Strings are represented by str data type, and true or false is represented by bool data type. Integers are represented by int, decimal values are represented by float, collection of characters is represented by str, true or false is represented by bool. Okay, fine. Now I am writing a equal to 10. See, what is the data type of a? Data type of a means what? It is storing what value. Basing on that, you will decide the data type. Now tell me, int, right? So it is storing integer, na? 10 is an integer, right? So yeah, so integers are represented by int, right? So the data type of a will become int. And I don't have confidence whether this is int or not. I don't have confidence. I want to check. How can I check? Using the type is used to retrieve the data type of the variable. Type function will retrieve the data type of the variable, and the retrieved data type has to be printed using the print function. The retrieved data type has to be printed using the print function. So type of a, what is the data type of a? Int. So int is expected to get printed. What is class? We will discuss later. So int is the data type. Now can anybody tell me what is the output of this program?
Float.
Float, na? Decimal values means what? Float, right? Okay. Now, one more point I have to tell you here. See, remember, collection of characters is called as a string. Every string must be embedded inside the single quote or in the double quote or in the triple quote. Don't forget that. Every string must be embedded inside the single quote or in the double quote or in the triple quote. Okay, again I'm asking you a question. I am telling like what is the output of this program?
Float.
Float only?
Float.
Float. Okay. Now I will put like this. Now tell me what is the output? Int or string or float or bool?
String.
Very good.
String.
It is not 100.9 now. It is not at all 100 point now. It is 100.9 now. It's a str. Now, what is the output? And why it is showing error?
Bool.
It should be bool, na? True or false means bool, na? But it is showing error.
Error, madam. Error is
Yeah, why?
there is no quotes.
No quotation.
Okay, if I put code, that will be string, na?
Yes.
Then,
What is the collection of
okay, I will tell you. Remember, true and false are the predefined words. T must be capital in true.
A type is not declared, ma'am.
See, in true, T must be capital. In false, F must be capital. Now it will be giving you as true. So now tell me.
Okay.
Okay. Now tell me why it is showing error.
F small.
F is small.
F must be capital. It is a predefined word. It's a keyword. It's given by Python people. Now can you please tell me what is the output of this code?
Bool.
No. Yeah.
Sorry. Can you please tell me?
That's two.
Bool.
Bull.
Yes, it is bool. It is bool. So See, there are 4 general data types in Python. Int, float, string, bool. Int will represent the integers, float will represent the decimal values, str will represent the collection of characters, that is nothing but string, bool is going to represent true or false, and type function is used to get the data type of the variable. Type function is used to get the data type of the variable. So the special data types like list, set, tuple, dictionary will be there. Those we will be seeing in the coming classes. So next. So can anybody tell me what is the output of this code?
30, madam. 30.
30.
Yes. So it will take the value inside the A cell, take the value inside the B cell, 10 plus 20 will become 30. So this is fine. So 30 will be the output. So I will be giving you one more program. Please try to tell the output of that also. I am taking B equal to A into A and I am printing B.
100.
100. It is
100.
going to square it.
A square, A square.
So in A 10 is there. So 10. Again in A 10 is there. So 10 into 10 is 100. So the same is going to be printed. Okay. So okay. So the next thing what we are going to see is the Boolean functions. See what Boolean functions will do. They will return either true or false as the result. What output they will produce, you know? They will produce either true or false as the result. Most important point to be remembered, Boolean functions are applicable only on the string data. Boolean functions are applicable only on the string data. Okay. Now, see, you all pretty well know that string means what? Collection of characters. Collection of characters or group of characters. Character means what again? Number can be there, alphabet can be there, special symbol can be there. Number, alphabet, special symbol, anything can be there. Okay. So, just give me 1 minute. Okay. So, Boolean functions are applicable only on the string data. They will return either true or false as the result. That is fine. And the string means what? Anything can be there. Number can be there, alphabet can be there, special symbol can be there. Okay. So, what is the first Boolean function? Is alpha. Is alpha. So, let me explain here. So, A equal to hello world. Print, that means I want to print true or false. A dot is alpha. See, what is, see, you are actually applying is alpha function upon A. A means what? Hello world. Upon hello world, you are applying is alpha function. What is alpha will do? Is alpha will give true if all the characters of a string are alphabets. Alphabets. Alpha, see, I told you string can have alphabets, numbers, special symbols, any character, na? But I am telling that is alpha will give true if all the characters of a string are alphabets. Now, can you please give your guess? This is correct or not? True or false? What will be printed?
True, true.
True. But see, what is going to be printed? False. Why like that?
Yeah, space.
Very good. Space. Space is not an alphabet, right? It's a special symbol. So everything should be alphabet, na? So I will remove that. Now it is going to print what? Can you tell me?
It's a true.
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 True only? All alphabets.
True.
na?
True.
Oh,
True.
True.
fine.
True.
Now, E is digit. See, they are self-explanatory. E is digit means what? If all the characters in the string are digits, then it will give true. Now tell me, this is true or false?
False.
False.
False only?
Hmm.
Okay. Now this is?
True.
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 Okay. Now this is?
False.
False.
All should be digits, na? Special symbol, alphabet should not be there.
False.
Okay. Next. Is all num. See, all num means what? Alphanumeric. See, in 3 cases it will give true. All the characters can be alphabets. All the characters can be numbers, or combination of both is also okay. Alphabets, numbers, both can be there. But if the string is having special symbol, then it will give false. All num, all alphabets okay, all numbers okay, combination is also okay. But if special symbol is there, it won't take. Now tell me, this is true or false?
True.
It's false.
False.
False. False.
It's false.
False, huh? Special symbol is there.
False. Special symbol.
Now, if I give like this is true or false?
True.
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 True only? All alphabets, all numbers,
Yes,
combination can also be there? Oh, okay. Yes, this is true. Okay. Next is what? Is upper. See, is upper will give true if all the alphabets in the string are in capital. If all the alphabets of a string are in capital, then this will give true. All the alphabets of a string are in capital, then this will give true. Now tell me, this is true or false?
True. True.
True.
False. False. False.
False. False.
False.
Number 2, madam.
False.
There is no capital
Hash is there. Hash is there.
Has 3, 4. These are
So false.
false.
See, there is no capital hash, there is no small hash, there is no capital 4, there is no small 4. Na? That's why what I told you, all the alphabets are capital, then it is okay. If I have digit or special symbol, it won't take any problem. But my point, all the alphabets, let the special symbols be there, let the numbers be there, not a problem. If all the alphabets are capital, then this is upper will give true.
True.
Now, can you tell me this is true or false?
True.
True. True.
True only, na? Now this is true or false?
True.
True. True.
True.
Now,
False.
Right. True. Another.
False. False.
False. False.
False.
very good, excellent. Because see, is upper is meant for alphabets only, na? If at least one alphabet is also not there, then it is going to throw false. Is upper is meant for alphabet. At least one alphabet is also not there, then definitely it will give false. Okay. So what are the Boolean functions I have covered today? Is alpha. Is alpha will give true if all the characters of a string are alphabets. Is digit will give true if all the characters of a string are digits. Is all num will give true if all are numbers, all are alphabets, or combination of both. And is upper will give true if all the alphabets of a string are in capital. Okay. So in the tomorrow's class, we will be seeing the other Boolean functions and the real-time purpose of the Boolean functions. In which situation we have to use Boolean functions in our project, we will be discussing in the next class. Okay. So you are going to get this material along with the, see, already I have the video. While I explain this class to the previous batches, I'm having the video. So you are going to get that. And so if the host is okay, like he can record my class and he can share with you. I don't have any problem. So it's up to you.
We will share, ma'am. You just send me the mail to me.
Sir, actually, if I have to send, I will be sending the backup copy, sir. అంటే వేరే బ్యాచ్ వాళ్ళకి చెప్పింది నా దగ్గర ఉంది సార్. ఇక్కడ మీరు హోస్ట్ కాబట్టి నాకు రికార్డింగ్ ఆప్షన్ రావట్లేదు సార్. మీరు
ఓకే, మేము రికార్డింగ్ చేసాం ఆల్రెడీ, మేము షేర్ చేస్తాం.
చేశారా సార్? ఓకే ఓకే, నైస్. Okay, fine. Thank you so much for all your cooperation. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay then. Bye bye. Bye for today.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for all your cooperation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So my sincere request for you. So please do practice. If you do practice, you can follow the next class very easily. The flow will be very smooth. Na? So please try to practice. If you get any question, please ask me the next class. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Bye for today. Have a good day.
खत्म हो गई क्लास हैं कहाँ खत्म एक नहीं बजा ना 12:40 में था 30 सुबह बहुत लोग छोड़ रहा है